19, 20 years old. She was thinking about retiring them. She did this for 2 weeks. What you're going to do today? Yeah. And she called me up. She goes, well, you told me 2 weeks. I said, let's reevaluate him. What do you think? She goes, I think I'm going to do him 1 more week. She got on him after 3 weeks. Yeah. She's like, I've never had him feel this good before. Oh, awesome. Yeah, and now she's all excited. Hi, I'm Groundwork. When I start a clinic, we always cover proper warm-up and then why we need to use our body properly. And the walk is the most dynamic gait of the horse. What happens is the horse has a lot of tension in their body, and you need to slow down, because when you slow down, the horse has to start using their central nervous system, thinking about where their feet are landing. So you're actually building the connection from the horse's brain to his feet. Yeah, we will be walking over poles, but we're going to be progressing as the horses improve, and also to give you ideas when you go home how to progress these exercises. And so we'll be raising the poles, we'll be changing distances, and then we'll also be using in-hand work with the horses. We'll be doing some lateral work. In hand, you're going to be leading and using your whip to bring the hip either away from you or towards you. And then also we're going to learn how to lunge properly. Probably in the middle of the clinic and towards the end of the clinic, we're going to take some time and we're going to learn how to do some stretches. We also do mobilizing exercises. And then in between all this, I'll be sprinkling in body work techniques. So, and this here will actually help the horse to release even more tension and to relax. We're talking about our knees being stabilizers. That's when you're going on the poles, it's very deliberate. That's when you're strengthening the stabilizers in the horses. One of the funnest things that I do with the horse owner and the horse is explain that our posture influences the horse on the ground. We all know that it influences the horse on when we're riding them, but we really have a huge influence on the ground. So when you're walking your horse and you've got your head down, well, your horse is going to have his head down, the sternum is going to be dropped, and he's going to be walking very heavy on his front end, not using his back end, his core is not activated, and the stabilizers are not getting activated. But when you start to understand how to use your core, how to start like activating your stabilizers in your chest and in your hips and knees and feet, all of a sudden you'll see a difference in your horse. They will actually lift up their sternum. They'll kind of arch with their neck. And when you're going over the poles, the horse will actually kind of arch up and look at the poles, and their hind legs will be reaching underneath them. So I go through a series of simple exercises for the handlers so that they get that connection with the horse. And every person that I have taught this to have been blown away by it. And then when you videotape yourself walking how you normally walk, and then you videotape yourself after you've practiced a little bit of your core work exercises and stabilizers, there's a huge difference in the body of your horse. You know, you're concerned about your posture on the horse. Now you got to think about on the ground, because horses will mirror us and we mirror them. And I mean, I walk forward, most of us, about probably 99% of people, you know, we're, okay, let's get this job done. And if we would just lift our sternum, and a sternum just isn't this, just like the horses, it's actually a whole rib cage. And when you start breathing, this is what we want our horses to do, is breathe the whole rib cage. So when I think about when I'm breathing and standing in my straddle pole, actually helps the horse to release tension in its ventral chain, and it gives a calming response to the horses, because with that relaxation, the central nervous system is relaxed. And so that's one of the things that the poles do. And a lot of good things happen when they chill out. Like him, even though he's or she's not licking and chewing.
You just missed it. She was.
Oh, okay, because her body has softened.
Yeah.
And that's what you want, is for their head to kind of come down, and they're actually kind of self-stretching. Yeah, when you start your horse, what you're going to be looking for, especially over ground poles, you're going to set the poles up
at appropriate distance for their gait. Now, if your horse is hitting them all, you can definitely say there's something wrong with your horse's mind and foot connection. And doing poles, it actually helps with that proprioception that your horse needs. It will actually release tension in the horse. And it's usually tight tension patterns that has caused the horse to be hitting the poles. And as you progress with the pole work and the in-hand work and body work, the horse will release this tension, because when you're strengthening that core, that back goes up, the sternum goes up, and the hind legs are able to reach underneath them better. And then when you start seeing an improvement in them going over poles, this improvement will be seen. They're not hitting the poles as much to not hitting the poles at all.
It's like the old school calisthenic workouts that we do, huh?
Yeah, so you're actually, think of all the things that you're doing. You're strengthening the stifle area, and you're activating the stabilizers on this side.
Well,
So you're doing a lot of stuff. So then when you switch sides, the stifle's getting the stabilizers, because all these muscles, the gluteals and everything, are part of the stabilizing muscles. So you're strengthening them with something as simple as this. So this would be really good for her. Good girl.
What does this do, Dawn?
It actually helps loosen the jaw area, going all the way back to the hind legs. And there you go, good girl. I do this with every single horse I work with. It helps them mentally.
I just changed her whole demeanor.
Yep, because she's holding that tension in there.
Yeah.
She does not know how to release